hate stuff there that people that are like.
There's definitely a religion coming up,
Sure.
but it's okay to take a step back from it. It is definitely very growing up.
Ooh,
Whoa.
did it fall? That's so fun. Hmm. That's a perfect way to start satsang. Things are going to fall. Thoughts are going to happen. You might have an argument with reality. Emotions may arise. There might be a flare up. The world may not be exactly as you imagine it should be. Your neighbors might build a fence a little too tall than you'd like. So many things could, what's the word? Not perfectly mirror your image of peace or your idea of harmony or love or an enlightened society or perfect geometry. And, there's some laughter now, but not to trivialize the depth of the horrors that can arise in this experience in our human family. And so, in that, I thought it'd be really sweet tonight to just consider that which is not separate from anything, not separate from the falling backdrop, not separate from the neighbor's wall or the border wall, not separate from the thoughts, the ideologies, the concepts, the ideas, the unaddressed trauma, the unmet pain, not separate from that which we have maybe hoped we were separate from or imagined we were separate from, not separate from the love, from the harmony of every atom in its place, not separate from the compassion, from peace that truly passeth understanding, not separate from what is, not separate from that which has not once been interrupted by any appearance. And our capacity in noticing that, resting as that, devoting our breath to that, choosing that, deepening as that, and deepening more as that. The consequence and the great joy, not separate from the great heartbreak of existing as a presence of benefit, existing as a presence of peace in the world you find yourself in, which is only the moment you find yourself in. This moment is the world. And in discovering the option to be this peace now, we innocently retract our claws or our energy, our fuel, our vote, our attention, our contribution to the suffering of the world, the suffering of the planet now. This is where the intersection of our sweet, precious, soft bodied human lives get to meet the vast mystery of that which has never been conceived, of that which shines brightly as our face and in our eyes. I love the consequence of showing up as a presence of benefit. And I love that that's not something we could do. Boy, have we tried to do that. So innocent. All the doing, all the attempting to enforce some idea of peace, attempting to control, strategize, manipulate, force. And in that, the innocent overlooking of peace as oneself, peace as this, not someone in peace and out of peace, feeling peaceful, not so much, but discovering, oh wow, this peace is inseparable from who I am at the coreless core, centerless center. And this is where it's so sweet, this concept of skillful means that has arisen in certain cultures. Most specifically, my mind goes to certain Buddhist traditions, getting really skilled at learning how suffering happens, how it is that we no longer are available to be informed by wisdom, but innocently get hijacked by mind's idea of what's best for ourselves and the world. In other words, the innocence of being informed by fear. It's okay to be informed by how many motherfucking times have we been informed by fear in our lives? Lord have mercy. It's quite the thing to be informed by fear. The decisions made in the body barely taking a breath, white knuckling literally our way through society, through the ages. So innocent, and it might happen again and again where, yeah, we are tripping. We are tripping balls. I like to say I work with a lot of different psychedelics. An honor to be able to serve these medicines and to use them as the sweet permission slip they are. All imaginary medicine for an imaginary disease. And I like to say that the biggest psychedelic of all, bigger than iboga, ayahuasca, yopo huasca, bufo, uh, all the various ones, is the mind. The mind is the biggest psychedelic of all. The moment we believe a thought that isn't true, we're tripping. That is the definition of seeing things that aren't here. Oh, why? It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, these minds. Story after story, world after world, universe after universe, past after past, future after future, projection after projection. Mm, quite the mirage. That then innocent, sweet, precious bodies caught in the crossfire of those delusions, of those holy beliefs. And so, yes, the skillful means to notice. That's why, for me, one of the most sacred mantras in all the world is high mind, high mind. Oh, what a fascinating suggestion. High mind, appreciate your attempt to keep the whole world safe. And high mind, you may imagine you're running the show, but you're in the car seat in the back with your little Ziploc bag full of fishies, those little cracker fishies. The little goldfish. You can just, you're good, beloved. You're so good. You're so good. Isn't that a sweet image? Such a sweet image. I had a real sweet session today with a beloved who innocently was holding on to this story about a particular accident they were in about 30 years ago, and how that accident had damaged their life, that had altered their life in such a way. And it's so tender to sit in that space, knowing the freedom that's present, the truth of what's here, and also the innocence of these ideas that we have, the allegiance that we have to the stories, to um, and then the using the very limited technology of language as a way to invite some curiosity around the subject, some exploration, and inviting the curiosity of that there can be truth in the realm of ego, and to notice there could be something that may be true to the ego and nothing wrong with that, but to also consider if that which is true to the ego is also true to who you truly are now, to the vast intelligence that you are now, to the freedom you are now, to the life force you are now. And so, such a sweet little discovery in the willingness, in the honesty, in the courage to tell the truth, the deeper truth, honoring to some degree the story, the truth as the story goes, and also honoring a deeper truth by allowing that truth to, oh, to dissolve like mist in sunlight. The moment one touches this truth that isn't limited to memory or the reconstruction of events or the attempt to drag a dead horse onto the pasture of now. Idly ody, odly ody. You know, so sweet. Skillful means. How wonderful. Not how do we get to peace. Again, no doing peace. No doing harmony. No doing love. Hallelujah. Have you ever tried to do love? Ever tried to do peace? Ever tried to do kindness? This is where I talk about my particular stage of development I call bitch with a bindi. really having genuine realizations, recognitions, awakenings, and then not having the awareness, the vigilance of minds co-opting, corrupting of the sacredness of that and turning it into its own version, its own idea. It happens with many gurus. We've seen it on all the documentaries. These sweethearts, genuine grace period. And then surrounded by, yes, beloveds, surrounded by all the things, no willingness to question their stressful thoughts, and such manipulation, such harm, such uh, unmet trauma, unmet discomfort, displaced, spewed, sprayed, regurgitated on anyone that comes close, especially the innocent vulnerability of those who may have recognized some Shakti, some power, some truth, who have swallowed one of the golden nuggets that was then revealed to be covered by a lot of misinformation. so, so innocent. And that's something that happens in a group of beloveds. We see this in our world, whether it be an ashram or a country. Cults come in many different sizes. And it's innocent, and thankfully where it ends, the only place it ends, is here, right here first. This is where we remove our energy from the dance of that heartbreak and discover that we truly, it's not just a bumper sticker on a Prius, like we truly get to be the peace we wish to see in the world. Like we truly get to experience that, deepening as this peace. And as being peace, again, we're not doing peace. Peace is now living through our words, our bodies, our art, our music, the way we interact, the way we communicate, the way we friendship, the way we love ship, the way we are in community. And it doesn't have to look like, and like, it's the joy of that is the solution based innovations that aren't bound to how we've done things in the past. This is the only thing that is, if we could ever move anywhere, this is the only thing that would move us forward. So sweet. This is very still, this moment. This silent is very deep. Every age happening here, every century happening, unhappening here. So before I continue, anyone want to share something or have a question or something you'd like to explore? Is there a thought that feels pressing? A thought that has been reoccurring that feels stressful? Is there a sense of not knowing how to find footing in the quicksand of our worlds? Can you pass the microphone, please? Thank you. I know. We have to push it through the top there. Thank you so much. Over.
So I was talking earlier here a bit about like 3D printing. And on the 3D printing, we print layer after layer after layer after layer. Well,
Okay.
in the layer itself has no idea what the whole thing's about. It's all been structured into the whole geometry of it, and but each layer has to reference the zero. It has to the thing has to go to home and then reference from there. And it goes out and it does its thing, and then it comes back, and then it moves, and then it goes and does the thing. It's always headed home. It always has to have that home reference. And that's what we basically hear if we don't it's being recursive and coming back to home each time we go out. Every time we move out, we're at home, at peace, and move out. And just recurring. And that's all this world is recursive. It's not recurring. Recurring is getting the same loop, repetitive, all over and over. And that's really what time is. We just seconds go tick, 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 tick. Nothing really moves in time. It moves in geometry, but that's only because it's recursive, not because it's recurring. Does that make any sense?
I love that. So I saw the whole 3D picture.
I know.
But I mean, how wonderful that this option, the way I'm hearing it in regards to what I'm speaking of in this context, is the option to continue coming back home
Exactly.
without having the full picture.
Right.
And then the willingness for the next step to reveal
Right. And
itself.
see, that's the
reveal
way
itself.
electrons actually work. They take
Yes.
2 loops to get back to their home, because they have to do one puts a twist in and the other untwists it. And so,
If I was one of the two, I'll be putting that twist in it for sure.
but see, the thing is what we do in this dimension is we twist. We have 360 degrees, but all that's doing, if in reality, is putting a torque into our system.
A twerk.
A torque.
A twerk.
It's putting a twist into it that needs to get resolved. And if you don't go back home, it's not going to resolve. And you're just going to get twisted and twisted and twisted and twisted, because you're unless you cut the tether, which is what we do in our separation. Forget, I'm not connected to the source. I'm just going to fly around. Okay, that's fine too. But that's, we know where that lands.
Yeah. Sourcing from home. I love that.
Yeah, because
I also
recurring.
love-
It's always recurring. I always have to go to home, and home is, but anyway,
Yeah.
so it's all about home.
Yeah. And what's so sweet, what I love is that, it's like we have these permission slips, we have these analogies, we have this sense of time to come back to home. And what's so great about that is we come back to home again and again. Eventually, there's a deepening and an outshining, a discovery, a recognition that this homeness we never left.
Right.
And it's
This is the Wizard of
absolutely
Oz
who we
story,
are.
right? You have a twister and
Okay.
an old twister. Now you've gone to this place, and holy moly! And then you meet these 3 characters, right? Which is the 3 axes of rotation: the scarecrow and the lion and the tin man. So you have to flip those
Perfect
axes.
conductor, that
I know. So anyway, going back to the
That's so good.
yeah.
Right.
So you go back to the wizard to try to get all that straightened out, and you know the story. But anyway, you've always
What's
been
the
home.
story
You just had
again?
to click your ruby slippers. And,
Click them ruby slippers. There's no place like
I had no place like
on
home.
TM. And you were there, and you were there. So sweet.
Anyway, so that's what's been in my world. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Anyone else want to share?
I will.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few things that I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ash, tell me about, the discovery that Cesar Chavez, for example, are, a role model. Like we keep finding these
Right.
people who are like our heroes and role models that have
Right.
been doing abusive things. And I relate it to just being at war, like people who are,
Right.
causing wars, whether it's against women or against humanity or whatever. How do we
Right.
hold the war in Iran? I'm struggling to, feel this enormous amount of peace and security in myself and in our Boulder bubble and where we are in so many ways, so fortunate. And then to know what's going on outside and just to
Right.
continue to witness, show up,
Yeah.
and what Jim's saying, come back home to the knowing that, all is love, all is whatever, but what's going
Right.
on out there doesn't feel like it very much.
I hear that. I so hear that.
So I'm still,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
with the war thing.
So hear that.
At war.
I have a poem. I have a poem that I wrote that speaks to this. I have many poems and many songs that speak to this, but one in particular that came through recently. Um, let's see. Let me find it, the name of it on Instagram.
It just astounds me that it's 2026 and we're still doing what we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years.
Right. Right.
I thought we were making some progress.
We are, but you don't
Yeah.
know where.
Yay. So this poem is called, I don't know what it's called, but I'm share it with you to see if how it lands. I wake up some mornings and the sky feels heavier than it should. Not because the clouds are thick, but because somewhere a child is learning the sound of bombs before the sound of birds. And I keep wondering, how many wars? How many wars? How many wars are simply the echo of grown men who never learned how to say, I'm hurt, I'm sorry? How many missiles are just grief that never found a therapist? How many graves are dug by the silence of fathers who were told that tenderness was weakness? History books will call it strategy, religion will call it destiny, nations will call it defense, but sometimes it looks like this to me: a world held hostage by unprocessed pain. A world held hostage by unprocessed pain. And the tragedy. The tragedy is how easily people cheer it on, how quickly scripture becomes a weapon, how swiftly God gets recruited into someone else's war, as if the infinite ever needed permission, our permission, to love all, to be all. I scroll the headlines and my heart cracks open again and again. More bodies, more rubble, more holy certainty. And I feel it. It hits me like a truck. The sadness, the anger, the helpless ache of witnessing. Because somewhere beneath every flag, beneath every doctrine, beneath every chant of righteousness, there is still a human nervous system terrified of its own vulnerability. So, what do I do? What the fuck do I do? What do I do? I hold the high watch as best I can, not the numb watch, not the spiritual bypass watch, not. I hold the high watch where the heart is allowed to break and break. I donate where I can. I call my friends. I make music. I write poems and songs that probably won't stop a single bullet, but might stop for one instant, for one moment, the forgetting of our shared humanity. I sit in meditation. I notice the silent field where no nation has ever once actually existed, where no religion needs defending, where the breath and the sun and the moon and the stars belong equally to every living being. And still the tears come again, because awareness, being awareness, doesn't make the world's suffering disappear. It just refuses to look away. So tonight, I light a small candle in the infinite cathedral of the heart, and I whisper into the aching mystery of this human story. May those who lead learn to listen. May those who preach learn to question. May those who hate find the courage to grieve. May those who see the world as perfect know that it's only perfect because it reveals the mind, the unquestioned mind. And may all beings everywhere finally discover the peace that no army has ever been able to enforce. Inside. Inside. This nations, these people, a nation doesn't exist on, it's a collection of these hearts, these unquestioned hearts. And it's so tempting to move into the very places that create those unquestioned hearts. There's a force of righteousness, of separation, and what happens so innocently is for so many, we end up becoming the very thing we're fighting against. We end up the very thing we think we are opposite of. And so it really is our responsibility, moment by moment, to stop the war here, to end that butterfly effect before it turns into this tsunami, to really tap in and question. It is huge, huge. Some people think that it's just the body doing nothing. This is a language of energy. And the moment you are willing to take responsibility for the peace of this moment, you get to be a dot of peace on the earth. And the moment you make that choice, it's like there's this lubricant in the atmosphere. It just makes it that much easier for, as a consequence, for neighbors, for someone on the other side of the world, the universe, to recognize and to tap into the option of being here, not through the lens of separation, but to be here as an open, non-local, all-loving, uncontrived compassion is our nature. And we discover that in our willingness to not have to know. To not have to know. It's so challenging with all that's unfolding to move into one of the amigos of a separation consciousness. I say there's 3 amigos of separation consciousness, innocent bitches. But the moment we overemphasize those 3 amigos, and we can sure enough discover that heaviness, that unregulated nervous system, that anxiety, that suffering. And those 3 amigos, identity, time, and cause and effect. Any moment we are clenched and tight and sweating and fearful and angry, and we can always look and notice, oh yeah, I'm totally emphasizing identity. Totally emphasizing time, because what them bitches did to me last week or 7,000 years ago, shit. Or totally emphasizing cause and effect, because this happened, now I can no longer live a life of benefit. Now I'm damaged. Now I'm broken. Because this happened, the world is done for. It's just going to get hotter and hotter in Colorado. Because this happened, and so we experience time as linear, and it's just not so. It may seem so, and it can have its place for it to seem so. As long, in however long we need as a species to have an allegiance to this trend in consciousness, no need to rush any healing. Boy, does it seem like there's an urgency and we're at a critical mass. I get it. But the more we're willing to come back to not having to know, That's such a gift for the whole planet. We bathe the whole planet in the most loving kindness. Because where has this planet only ever existed? In your awareness. Where has anything ever only existed? In your awareness. And I'm not talking about mind's version of some strange philosophy of there's only you. Just a moment to tell the truth and notice. Awareness is valuable. Awareness has medicine. Awareness is delighted to live through you, as you. And it's so valuable. It's so valuable. Oh my gosh, the whole world takes a deep breath. It's off the hook. I remember a moment a long time ago. Oh my God, I was probably 18 years old on LSD in a golf field and in like somewhere in Florida. And I'm lying on that grass and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so cool. And every blade of grass is singing a song to me, like a Mariah Carey song, because I was in love. I still am in love with that hoe, but I was really in love with that bitch at that time. Lord, singing them right, I was like, oh my God, this is blessed. And then I heard this sound, and sure enough, there was a motherfucking raccoon right in front of my face. And I look into that raccoon's eyes. Thankfully, did not scratch my eyes out. That could have happened. Thankfully, he stared at me. And I'm looking at this raccoon, and then there was just this sense of like, I could just feel love for this raccoon, but as like the whole planet was like using me to like love her child as this raccoon. And I can feel into this planet, and it was like the sweetest, like we put so many ideas of how this planet, talk about mother issues, mommy issues, how this planet needs to be perfect at all times, how this planet needs to be clean, and how this planet needs to have the right, be evolved and needs to ascend somewhere and needs to, and in that moment it was just like, oh my God, I can totally love this planet just as she is, just as it is. No need to rush any enlightenment, any consciousness, any next level ascension, anything. Like, it's an opportunity to really show up that I mean, that's what we want, isn't it? To be loved. Sometimes we imagine, this is where it gets really scary. I could only be love and at peace once everyone wakes up. Good luck with that one. Lord, I could only, it's like, what would a healed world give you? What would the healed, peaceful world, what would that give you? We have a lot of ideas about what it would give us. Oh, it would give me stability. It would give me peace. It would give me better credit. And if I have better credit, then I'll be at peace and I'll have stability. And it'll give me more walks in nature. If I have more walks in nature, then I'll be at peace. It all comes back to peace when we really look at it. But we have all these ideas about what it would give us. And that's just contributing, again, innocently, all innocent, to the pain, to the suffering, to the overlooking of the wholeness that is, the peace that is, the all is wellness that is. What would that give me? And so in that moment, it's just like, oh my gosh, this sweetie, precious, precious, precious. And I'm not in anyone else's business. So I'm finally home to myself. I'm not in the earth's business. I'm not in the collective consciousness business. I'm not in this part of the world's business, or my neighbor's business, or my children's business, or my nephew's business, or my mother's business. It's like, I'm home. And then that's the thing. We think we're afraid if I wake up Then I'll just sit in a cave and there's too much that needs to be done. And all that too much that needs to be done, we don't even notice. Trying to solve a problem with the same mind that created the problem. Trying to solve a problem with the same trauma that done created that problem. And in our willingness to not know, be open, be as we always are, nothing can stop us. What's ours to do? What the poem that's ours to share, the whatever flavor it is, and that may look like some kind of activism, sacred activism, and for some beloveds it may actually look like sitting in a cave. It's free. It's not bound to our ideas. And however it authentically, genuinely, spontaneously, moment to moment appears as your expression, as your life, is just right. It's just right. There are some beloveds who were activists throughout the ages, and there are some beloveds like Ramana Maharshi who literally just sat his ass down in Aranachanalala in Tiru with a cow named Lakshmi. Amazing. Sweethearts. Sweethearts. It's so lovely. And there's seasons to it. There may be a season where you're just at rest. Jim would like the microphone. You got another? What would you like to share, Jim?
So this whole idea of headed home in wholeness, actually, or completeness, is like in math, hitting an asymptote.
I love an asymptote.
Asymptotes, yeah, it's where you try to divide by zero. But at that point, they call it undefined, but it's actually, what it actually has is, at that point, you lost all relational capacity. So there's nothing you can actually relate to. It's just this.
It's just this.
Because there's nothing else there.
That's
There's
so
no
lovely.
relational capacity.
You're right. You can no longer believe the mind's projections.
Yeah, and that's the love, you know. And Course of Love calls it love is without attributes, attributeless love.
Attributeless love.
Yeah, and then Christ or whatever is the attribute of attributeless love.
It's so sweet.
I mean, it's just
so many emanations of that.
yeah,
throughout
and
all
it's just
time.
kind of a flip. It's an antiodromic flip, an opposite flip that shows up. And that's what's happening here. Beep. It's just you're flipping back and forth from pole to pole, opposite to opposite, bing to bang, all, whatever. And that's all that's happening here. And it's completely corralled by itself on either side.
Such harmony.
I know. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
And you laugh. Laugh is like crossing the asymptote because you're going across this. It's like you lost your connection for a while. You're like, it's not continuous.
I have a little song that's coming through the acetone.
I'm not talking about the peace beyond all understanding, because there's no trying to figure it out because there's nothing there.
Can't be done.
There's nothing
Right. Here it is.
No, nothing that can relate. This is pure, whatever.
Yeah. Yes,
You name
yes,
it, it is it.
yes. So present, fully, fully here as this, like this, just this. Mm. Sometimes it feels like it take 1,000 years for the human race to heal all this pain that causes us to be such fuckers. Yes, if it feels like it take 1,000,000 more till we're willing to explore inner space and realize that our true name is perfect love. Perfect love. I know that's how it feels, but all could shift in a blink. Perfect love, perfect love, for only love is real, and all could shift in a. Sometimes the I see the opposite of peace, and love's a beggar on its knees, longing for the day its value is acknowledged. And those walls we build just keep getting taller. Is God's number? Someone call her and recommend that she consider another flight. But only this time, oh, perfect love. Perfect love. The ocean's always here. And we're fish saying where she's at. Perfect love. Oh, perfect love. The ocean's always here. We're all waves on a back. Perfect love doesn't mean doing nothing or not suggesting and not exploring. I don't know the lyrics, that there are other ways. No, this love just allows us to breathe deeper and think clearer and be kind, humankind, not human creepers. And no, 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 no. It's alright to surrender to the peace that you are. The peace as immediate perception that you are. The freedom as immediate perception that you are. The love as immediate perception that you are. Yeah. Peace be still and know. Peace be still and know. Satchitananda and know. Om Bhurбhuvah Svada Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya and Noah and Noah. Oh, this world has the most amazing karma that it gets to appear and disappear in the love you are. Oh, every experience, every circumstance has the most amazing karma. The only home it's ever known is your heart. The only home it's ever known is your love. And that love is huge. That love smiled at itself in the mirror and created infinite universes of infinite universes. All phenomena happening on the lap of love that you are. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being willing to have every dream of you, every emanation of you, every sacred geometry, every sacred geometric ha-ha of you. Thank you for the satsang loves. So very sweet. So very sweet. Yay. I won't be here next week. I'll be here April 20th and April 27th, doing a little sweet thing here. Just a quick thing, if you're interested in any non-dual plant medicine ceremonies, I have one coming up in June in Hawaii and the Big Island, Aloha Huasca. There's one coming up in Costa Rica at the end of July. There's one coming up August 3rd to the 13th in the Sacred Valley of Peru. And there's one coming up in October. No, what's first? September, October. September's first, right? Yeah. September in Boulder, the 4E Facilitator Teacher Program with myself and Deborah Silverman. And in October, Asheville. Oh, in May, Michigan. A 3-day non-dual Aya retreat in Michigan. So if you'd like any more information, go to my website, ashruiz.com, or send me a message and say, hey, what's up? And if you'd like to leave a donation, you're welcome to over there in that little blue thing or on the Venmo stuff. All right. I love you. Thank you. Blessings. Yay.